Hey, hosers! James Griffin here, and I have this game from my Yubari coming to you. Before we get into the game, though, the obligatory HMCS Haida Wargaming, shut up and take my money! Alright, now that we have that over with, let's see what we've got going here. So we have our Yubari, we're on the Archipelago map. We have an enemy aircraft carrier, which is great, because they never expected this thing to have so much AA. Even though it doesn't have, it has defensive fire. Teams, we have an extra Wyoming. They have a Corbett to our Orion. The Turin is better than the South Carolina, but the Nassau is not, in my opinion. And, yeah, everything else looks okay. So I'm just going to go down here and sort of act as a sentinel. I'm going to try to head off any enemy airstrikes. That are being directed at our battleships here. But the enemy isn't launching aircraft over here. So I'm just going to sit and wait for anything to show up. Doesn't take long for that Isokazi to spot a V-170. I don't have a shot at him, but I'm going to pull out of cover and see what I can do about that. I have still not been spotted. And we're going to start opening up on him. Our first shot takes out its engine. Second salvo, no hits. But there's a Clemson we can pick on. This thing is great for if you're accurate with your shots. This thing is great for picking on destroyers. It only has 4 guns, but I guess so does. It only has 4 guns, but they're in twin turrets. They have okay ballistics. It's hard to just like the ballistics at short ranges are good, and at long ranges the shells are a little floaty, but they're also very still very accurate. You can get them, you can lob them over stuff. So I'm probably going to kill this V-170 here, I think. Nope, but they're also very fast firing guns, so I get another shot. He turns almost into my shot. I have a South Carolina firing at me. And he gets a lot of overpens. I want to take one more shot at the V-170. And I don't get him. Very lucky V-170. Here comes another South Carolina, but I duck out of, I duck into concealment. He hasn't seen me firing my guns. We're going to open up on that Phoenix. Now normally I would fire an AP at a Phoenix, but the AP in this is kind of weird. I'm going to farm some damage on the South Carolina. Here comes some fighters, but they're not in range. I'm probably going to kill the Phoenix. There we go. Not that I did a lot of damage to him. Going to start firing on the enemy battleship, see if we can set some fires. You can also get a fair amount of damage on their on them with this with these shells. I want to actually pop my defensive AA here. If I can shoot down enough of the enemy Langley's fighters, Then hopefully our Langley can get air superiority. So I just want to get rid of as many of his fighters. So far we've gotten 5 of them, maybe 6. It's a tier 4 match, so some of those could have been spotters. I'm just going to stay hunkered down on this island. There's a lot of battleships, like that Wyoming. Which I can shatter shells against. I'm really just trying to make sure I get shells over the island. There's a fire. I think I did get some hits on that aft superstructure. Here's a much easier target, a corvette in open water at 9 kilometers. But he can see me, so unfortunately he's got a terrain problem. There's also a Oleg down there. But these things are real squishy, so I'm going to get back into cover. Can't get any shots over there. I'm spotted by aircraft. Here comes another wave of enemy fighters, but he's only got 3 fighters left. My defensive fire is on cooldown though, and that corvette just spanked our terrain. So we're going to set him on fire, deal a couple of thousand damage as well. And we're going to let him have it with our guns. We're not doing a huge amount of alpha, but he's on fire and we sink him. Now my defensive fire is on cooldown, but the Oleg, he gets missed by the enemy dive bombers. Still. So that's good. We're going to concentrate on this South Carolina now. Set him on fire amidships. It's aft of the main superstructure. We're going to try to set another fire. This guy has not put out his fire though. And there are torpedoes, but they're not going to hit me. The island's in the way. Get another couple of hits in on them. See if we can end that V-170. One of my salvos hits the island. The other, not enough lead. I'm going to fire at him again. And then start giving it to this Wyoming. Set the Wyoming on fire again. He immediately puts it out. And you know what that means? I keep shooting him. And at ranges of over 5 or 6 kilometers, you can just get these over everything. Another couple of hits, I'm doing 1500 damage at a salvo if I get him good. And am I going to get him? And there we go. I did do a fair amount of damage to him. And there's the Kolberg. We're going to fire at him. And there's my 4th kill. And the Clemson just died. There's an Orion, a full health Orion in front of me. I want to fire at this V-170. Enemy aircraft around. See if we can finish off the destroyer. But the Oleg gets him. South Carolina takes a pot shot at me, but misses. Both gun turrets on him. And start working them over with those 4.5-inch guns. There's some torpedo bombers around. And I'm not even going to bother to trigger my defensive AA. I'm just going to dodge his torpedoes, let the friendly fighters deal with them, and continue firing at the South Carolina. Set his stern on fire. And he burns down, and there is a Kraken unleashed. You know what that means? I'm going to unleash some Kraken. There's the enemy Langley. I want to start working him over. I took out his engine. I'm trying to set him on fire. Fortunately, I do have my defensive AA on. Good job, Yubari. No, I'm kill stealing like a boss. I guess I know what the title of this is going to be. I did save his planes repeatedly and often. Oh, here comes. Oh, and I got pwned. I citadeled him. I triggered my defensive AA. I fired torpedoes at him. Now, unfortunately, I'm actually going to get taken out. Right here. And, my torpedoes were not fired with enough lead. The Langley is actually moving. And unfortunately, more unfortunate things happen even though everything's kind of going right here. I mean, the Langley's going down. But before he gets taken out, and I'm just watching. I'm just using the camera I was using. Before the Langley gets taken out, any second now the game crashes. At least it didn't crash when I was playing. And I say I'll take credit for shooting down most of his fighters. There goes the enemy Langley. Torpedoes are going to obliterate him. But this is where the game crashes. At least we know how the Langley died. And I'm going to be lazy and just use photos. So, how did we do? We did 63,000 damage, which is reasonably good for a tier 3 cruiser, a Yubari. All of it with guns, no torpedo hits, but I did get 97 target hits. Shot down 9 enemy aircraft. Most of them I think were enemy fighters. I set 6 fires, sunk 5 ships for a Kraken Unleashed. I got paid out to almost a little over 250,000 credits, which is not bad. I guess it is a premium ship, but still, it's tier 4. A couple of incapacitations, taken out by an Orion, but I still did okay. This Oleg actually got 2 kills, managed to survive the battle, had more XP than me. I don't know what his medal was. Sunk 2 ships. The enemy Langley shot down 21 enemy aircraft to only 10 from. Sorry, our Langley shot down 21 aircraft and killed the enemy Langley. We can be pretty sure of that. To only 10 aircraft shot down by the enemy Langley. Which is good, and the next top was 3. So definitely, it was the right thing to do to trigger the defensive fire there, shooting down the majority of, well, 7 of the enemy's fighters. Langley's do not carry a lot of fighters. And I also shot down a bomber and a torpedo bomber. So 7 enemy fighters shot down. I think they only carry like maybe 12 at the most. So that really hurt the enemy Langley. That was potentially key to our winning the battle. We did 23,000 damage, which is 2/3 of the South Carolina's health. They only have a little over 30,000 hit points. So that definitely isn't kill stealing. We did 15 of the Wyoming's 40-something thousand, 7,000 to the Corvette, 532 to the Kohlberg, and 521 to the Phoenix. Kill stealing like a boss. 11,000 damage to the Langley before the enemy, other enemy took me out, and some more damage to some other ships. Generally speaking, being a menace, I did 43,000 damage with high explosive shells. The armor piercing on these, the armor piercing on these 4.5-inch guns is not that great. I mean, if you're 5 or 6 kilometers away from the broadside of like a Kuma or a Tenryu or like an Omaha or a Phoenix or something like that, definitely use AP, because you will just paddle him to death. But at ranges of even 7 or 8 kilometers, the ballistics on the guns are not well suited for AP. You can still get citadels on like Phoenixes and maybe even the odd real good shot on a Wyoming. But yeah, I found with these Japanese 5.5-inch 140 millimeter guns that generally speaking, AP or HE is your go-to shell. And they set lots of fires, obviously. I did 19,996, so basically 20,000 damage with AP, or with fires rather, from the HE spam. I had 431,000 potential damage, so while I was sitting behind the island a bit, I did have quite a bit of damage fired at me, and I was able to survive for the most part of the battle, for most of the battle. And yeah, if you need more, 4 armor 4 high explosive hit me. Well, okay, I was actually hit with some battleship HE, wasn't I? I can't remember, but still, and a lot of that was overpens, actually. And I walked away with a little under 250,000 credits for my efforts. 3,634 commander XP and 3,634 normal XP, which is completely pointless because it's a premium ship. I guess if I really wanted to, I could spend gold to convert XP, but I don't really need to. Although I will maybe at some point, if I'm getting real close to the Musashi, I gotta start saving up for that. And finally, I got 182 free XP, which, But that was the Yubari, and my first Kraken in the Yubari. I have achieved something like 23 or 20, maybe 25 Krakens now. A number that's much lower than I would like. But that's it for this video, and have a good one, eh?